Hi.
Hi. How you doing today?
Good. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, peeps. We've got all three of us. Yet again, as usual, I've made a boo-boo and organised us to be 2 hours later than expected. So Jessie has emergency babysitter, which is another baby, which is fine. Hello and welcome to the Minecraft Update podcast. It is episode 20. Bit of a milestone, I think. I don't know why I think 20 is a milestone, just it's a nice round number. But I'm excited to be here, and I'm glad that both of you are with us, regardless of the fact that, you know, Slack's literally just out of recovery from a very severe operation, and Jessie's not feeling very well and very cross at me for doing this at the wrong time. So, hey guys.
I'm not cross. It's fine. I'm just a little bit more quiet than usual and apparently at the same time loud. Sorry.
Loud is good.
Yeah, you notice that when a woman saying that's fine, it's just the opposite of fine. You know that, right, Foxy?
Yes.
You're doomed.
I have many experience in people telling me that they're fine. And, I can show you the bruises. Anyway. Right. Speaking of being fine. Oh, geez. It's been the week of not being very fine for me, but I'll get to that at the end of this week. But we'll start with Slack because, he's not been here for a while. Slack, what have you been doing?
Well, I see you filled in a couple sections there for me. I guess you want to scoop on Jen being over, right?
Yeah. Short and sweet, not too much gory detail about how you were laid up in bed and couldn't get out of bed for, a couple of weeks. Just keep it simple, nice. How was it? Was it good? Is it worthwhile?
We're engaged.
Oh, all right.
Woo!
Jeez. Congratulations, I guess. Hit me with
we
that
are
one.
engaged now, and well, we kind of knew beforehand that we wanted to, but we wanted to have the meet and greet just to be sure. You know what I mean? So we made it official while she was over here. And then to add to that, add icing onto the cake, we've now hired an immigration lawyer. And as a matter of fact, today we've already started doing paperwork in relation to getting the K-1 visa and everything for her to come to America.
My goodness me.
Wow.
You don't muck about, do you?
No, well, I mean, honest to God, though, it's because of the generosity of the community we're even able to do this quickly.
Yeah.
I
wonder if you'll change your mind after all of your painkillers wear off. That's what I'm concerned about, Slack. I'm kidding. Obviously not going to.
She went home last Friday, and she was over here for 2 weeks, and I won't lie, it was one of the best 2 weeks of my whole life.
Oh.
And her going home just utterly destroyed me. It was one of the roughest things ever. But that being that, we talked about what we wanted to do after she got back home and about moving forward. And then we had a stream that night, and we let people in the community know. And I'll be honest with you all. You're all my friends and people out there. You all know me and, kind of my community. They went insane. We honestly didn't think that there was going to be no way that we were going to do this anytime soon. We looked into it already about getting a lawyer and everything like that. And it's going to be expensive. And then, the cost of moving and dealing with everything else and the application costs on the visas and then getting the visas changed over to green cards and everything. It's a really expensive process. I'd wager 85% of the funds were raised that night.
Oh my goodness.
Not even raised, just generated.
Wow.
Just donated by the community for this.
Oof.
And
wow.
We have additional people sponsoring us that have already guaranteed that when certain things happen, that we don't have to worry about certain things in the future.
Wow. Jeez.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of our communities, because our communities have run together. I mean, it's just the nature of what's happened with us, and a lot of people have been there from the very beginning. And a lot of them are like, it's just like watching a fairy tale unfold, and
yeah,
they've been there and want to be there throughout the whole thing. So yeah, it's absolutely great. So the clock has officially started. The train has left the station, and according to the immigration lawyer, it should be no longer than a year, and she'll be over here.
Jeez. Okay.
Now she could
That's
realistically,
so cool.
She could, if everything goes quickly. Now this is rare. This is very rare, but it could be as little as 4 months.
Jeez.
But on the outmost, it's probably going to be closer to a year.
Well, this is probably going to be the longest year of your life then.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Waiting for anything like this is horrendous. Jeez.
I would have never thought this 3 years ago when we started TB and I started doing Minecraft content for a living and all this. I would have never thought of this.
No.
I mean, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't, because this is how we met, is doing this. We met via Twitch, you know? We met doing Minecraft content together. And it's been amazing. And as a side note, you two know, especially, and a lot of people know I have issues with my neck now for quite a few years.
Yeah.
I just had a surgery that probably has corrected this problem just 2 days ago. You remember at the end of season 0 when I went in and I went and seen one surgeon, and he went in and he's like, this is not what your doctor thinks it is. The best advice I can give you is to learn how to deal with this at home, learn how to cut this and relieve the pressure off of your neck, because there's nothing I can do for you.
Yeah.
He was wrong. The surgeon that went in yesterday, when he finally got in there, confirmed that this could have been dealt with at the end of season 0.
Jeez.
And I wouldn't have had to go through all this for these 2+ years now.
This is truly Bedrock season 0, by the way, peeps at home. Sorry.
Yeah. Say what, Foxy?
Just saying, it's truly Bedrock season 0 for anyone confused that, might not know that we play on truly Bedrock or, anything like that. So, yeah, it's been like 3+ years. Jeez.
3+ years, yeah. You know, because me and you over those 3 years, Foxys, have done a lot together. We've hung out a lot. We've chatted a lot. You've seen what I went through with my neck.
Yes.
And to know that doctor legitimately said that there's nothing you could do, and he was wrong. And I've been dealing with this for 3 years, and it didn't have to be.
Oof. I don't know what to say about that, Slack, other than I'm very glad that, fingers crossed, touch wood, this is the end of that line for you. And that it looks like, again, I said this the other day, actually, that it looks like everything is on the way up for you at long last. So long may it last. And I really hope that that is the end of the troubles with your neck. Fingers crossed.
I do too. It's very scary to say, but it seems like things have aligned in my favor for once in my life. And it's amazing community, amazing job, amazing work, people. Let's face it, I work with y'all. It's amazing. My life.
Oh.
5 years ago, I used to be a person that believed that the people could never change. A leopard doesn't change its spots. Lion doesn't change its stripes. Whatever, however you want to believe it.
Yeah, but they don't have shops, Slack. They don't have they don't have lion or leopard tattoo parlors, or like where they can get a new coat. So you can't. It's not fair to use them as a bad example.
Well, where I'm going with this as an example then is I didn't believe people could change.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But being a part of all of this, being a part of Truly Bedrock, being a part of the Minecraft community, streaming, YouTubing, I am not the person that I was 5 years ago. And I'm not the person I was 3 years ago. And I have changed as a person for the better. And I love it. I love y'all. Sorry, I'm a little emotional right now.
So happy for you, Slack.
Okay, I can't take any more of this. You making me feel like good on the inside. It hurts. I don't like it. So talk about Minecraft or move on, because you're making me feel guilty for being your friend.
Can we talk about how horrible this update is then? Jesus.
No. Not yet.
Okay.
Wait. Jeez.
Next. I'll stop.
Did
Someone
you say neck? Jeez, like you're going on about now. I'm so glad. I am genuinely sat here with the biggest smile, so happy that all of this stuff is happening for you. So
I won't lie, I am genuinely crying. And
I don't think I've got a plug-in to like get rid of that.
Love your face.
I can get rid of the noise in the background, Slack, but your tears and your sobbing, I'm just gonna have to leave in. I'm sorry. Jessie, quick, save Slack. What have you been up to this week?
This week, I have been doing a lot of work in Minecraft. You know, when those times in your life you're like, it's a hard month for me. This month is like personally had a lot of losses, and just like this month is rough in general. May, I mean, not like specifically this year. Just May in general is hard for me. So this year, I was like, I'm going to prep ahead of time. I'm going to have lots of content. I'm going to get out. I'm planning streams. I'm setting up play dates for the kids. Like, I am focused, right? Like, this year is going to be great. And I have to say, knowing ahead of time that this was going to happen, that I was going to be sad, that things were going to be, not the best, it has been amazing. Like, I know we're only 5 days in, but I feel really motivated. I feel energized. I feel excited. And yes, the sad is still there, but prepping for it has made such a difference. And I feel like such a dummy. I have gone like 15 years with May being awful. And all I had to do was just, shut up and deal with it.
Fair
Just
enough.
shut up and drive.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
As my mum always said, shut up moaning and get on with it.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know what it is, but this year, maybe because Evie's getting older, and oh my gosh, is it crazy. She's talking so much. Like, sure, half of it is attitude and I can't stand it, but for the most part, I love it. But like, when it comes to Minecraft, I have basically done this entire extra area of my base that I did not plan for, but has turned out beautifully. I'm enjoying it. The fans are really liking it from what I can tell. And it's just given me like this nice energy. I've been working on this commercial for a very stupid shop. Like, it, I don't know if anyone will use it, but it's just like an excuse for collabs. So I've been doing a commercial, like editing something that's completely from nowhere. Just, a script in my head has been so fun. So this week for me, it's been really nice. Not gonna lie.
Is any of that new stuff over there near my new house that I found the other day?
Yeah, it's on the other side of the bridge.
Nice bakery I turned into a house. I mean,
No. I don't need a lodger in my Minecraft bakery. Thank you very much. No.
yeah. I used to have this, season 0. I had this wood shop.
No. No. Oh, jeez. Right. Moving on. My week this week. Oh, do you know what? I feel like we all talk about woes and like being bad and not being very well for ages, but I've had a killer week in terms of health this week. I spent all weekend laid up in bed, just like sweating and going from freezing cold, shaking to being roasting hot. I got this, speaking of neck slack, I've got a massive like gland swelling on my neck, which has been really painful and awful. So it was a bank holiday as well. So doctor's not open on the bank holiday. So on Tuesday I went to the doctor. I'm like, hey, look, this is the problem. My fever has subsided somewhat, but I'm still not right. I'm still not feeling very well. My neck is absolutely killing me. This thing's bigger than a golf ball. What are you going to do about it? And he's like, yeah, you just had a pneumococcal vaccine. It's perfectly normal. And I'm like, what? It's perfectly normal to feel like death for like 4 days straight and have this thing in my neck. It's like, oh, we'll do a blood test. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. So, and they did one, and I've got to go back in next week for another one because apparently I've got a bit of an infection, but it's nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. I'm all good. He basically sent me home and told me to shut up moaning. So
I was just gonna say, he basically told you that you're a baby and to shut up and get over it.
Exactly, which is fine. But I had Oliver that weekend. I had to like emergency ship him off to grandparents just because I couldn't like get out of bed to do anything with him. I couldn't feed him, couldn't take the dog for a walk. She had to go to grandparents as well. It was awful. I hate feeling like that. So yeah, I felt like after they said that, I was just like, oh, I better deal with it then, hadn't I? So I've still, even sat here today, got a giant lump on my neck that's just really painful to the touch. But apparently it's normal, so don't worry about it. Anyway, moving on from that, I did in my downtime, after spending a couple of days in bed and having another free day feeling rubbish, I decided to finally complete the Shadow of the Tomb Raider game I started on stream well over a year ago. So that's done. I did another Elden Ring stream, which I'm still really, really enjoying. Can't wait to do more of those. I've been fiddling with my website, making that even more update. And I've been writing Minecraft news articles for my website in the hopes that I can get listed on the Google News feed for Minecraft news and get all of the tasty advertising money from the Google people, which would be really nice. So I want to diversify my content, so I'm not just making Minecraft videos. I'm not just doing Twitch
You're thinking
streams.
of your future.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to cover all bases.
Smart.
So At the moment, I get up in the morning, I take the dog for a walk, make a cup of coffee, and I'll write very quickly. It only takes me about 15, 20 minutes, write a little article, and I save that for the next day. So I've been doing them daily. It's not going to last doing them daily because it is quite a grind, but it's going to give me a bit of a kickstart.
You're FoxyNoTail. You should have something to complain about every day. I mean, write about every day.
I do have plenty to complain about. So that's my week. Now, speaking of things to complain about, Slack, the feedback that we've got this week, we've got a reasonable amount of feedback. We've got a good bunch of questions, and we've got some Bugdate stuff as well. So we're going to start the feedback with Me is John saying, regarding the discussion at the end of your last podcast, I think you should definitely get a patron started for the podcast. If it's successful, then all the better. If not, then you know it's not time yet. Don't worry about patron-specific benefits. I think most of us just want to support what you're doing. Which is very nice, me, John, but I still feel a little bit early to just be. It feels so expectant, doesn't it? Opening up a patron, especially when we've all got our own individual ones as well. So I think we need sort of foundations in place, like a website, like a Discord, and to have something to give back in place before we do that. So I had a quick chat with Slack before Jessiie was in the voice call with me before this podcast, and we talked about getting a Discord set up and hopefully like arranging a more set in stone time to do the podcast each week, so we can open that up as a live thing, and then we can potentially look at that being a perk for Patreon at some point down the line. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, is one, having a set time to do this. I think it makes it feel more real.
Yeah.
Like it's a more substantial commitment. So I think that's probably the first step, but I agree. Opening a Discord is the step before Patreon. I think it is too early. I love the idea that people already are interested in supporting. That's great. That's brilliant. Shows us we're doing something, but yeah, not yet.
Yeah. I'd say that one's going to come in due time, but I would agree that the Discord is probably the next logical step, what we need. I mean, I know we're all advertising in our own Discords. I know we're all, linking back to the videos and everything, but one centralized place where people can come in. I mean, we all have our individual communities, and TB does too. And the TB Discord kind of gets active from time to time. Maybe I think it's a smart call. I think it's a smart call where we can provide interactions to the people there with news. We can discuss things there with people, and it may give us more ideals for the podcast itself.
Yeah, exactly. A sort of
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a central place for us to get all of that feedback and actually discuss it with people outside of the podcast as well. Be fantastic. So yeah, I mean,
and then on top of that puts it something a little bit more official than just our backroom chat here that just randomly sometimes we don't see. I mean, if we have our own Discord with this and we have our own back channels that we three deal with, then we know, hey, we don't ignore that, just not that anybody ignores it ever. No, wakey.
Wow.
Jessiie, the next 4 pieces of feedback are all for you.
Okay,
what did you do?
So, hold on. Should I read them all and then we'll discuss?
Yes.
Okay. So, dash, is that how you would say that?
That's coffee.
Coffee. Okay. Coffee says, wow, Sailor Jessiie will never see the innocent Miss B the same. I bust a gut when I heard it. Y'all are fantastic. Keep it up. Ian Peterson said, I have never heard Jessiie swear before. Haha. She just casually drops the F-bomb. Was shocking. Simply shocking. Daniel A says 1 hour, 31 minutes has the ultra rare Jessiie F-bomb. Foxy, be sure to keep the uncensored original clip somewhere so you won't lose it. And then Rusty Shackelford says, I died at Jessie's casual F-bomb. Now, Foxy, I seem to remember not saying an F-bomb.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a word that Jessiie uses sometimes, which over where you guys live is perfectly acceptable.
It's not. No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It is.
I got backhanded in the mouth as a kid using that word. It is not.
Yeah, so did I.
Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know, but I have never once heard anyone complain about that word. So I try so hard. Not to say it, and I let it slip. And apparently it gets the big old bad censor.
Yeah, if you put a censor sound between the F at the beginning and the ing at the end of it, it does sound very much like the F-bomb. But it wasn't the F-bomb. It was, as far as Jessie's concerned, perfectly innocent word. But for British audiences at least, it's not something that it's
it's not fair for American audiences. No.
So I did consider cutting it out altogether, but it was just so funny when they put the beep on, and I knew Jessie would kill me, so I had to do it. I had to leave that in there. So yeah. Apologies, peeps. It wasn't what you thought it was, but it was funny.
Not what you thought it was. But I will say, I know that it bothers Foxy. So I do try. That's not something that I just kind of casually throw in there. It's when I'm, deep in a discussion or something and I don't think about it and it slips out. And instantly Foxy called me out. Like the second it came out of my mouth, he was just like, Jessie. And I was like, oh, darn it.
Yeah.
My bad.
The thing is, it's in Home Alone, I think it's the first one. What's the little burglar called? I can't remember. But when he's like trying to do something, he keeps saying it over and over again. So when I was little, I remember we pulled up to our house in the car, and I was sat in the back of the car, and I was making the same noises he was making, and I got smacked. I got a whack round the back of the car seat from my mum onto my leg, and I couldn't understand it. I'm like, what? I didn't say anything. All I said was, and I said the word again, and she's like, you say that one more time. Oh, jeez. So I didn't learn till a lot later in life what that word actually means, and it's not the sort of thing you want to go around shouting on the internet.
No, that's
See,
bad.
I've never even looked up what it means.
Yeah, well, you should.
I'm starting to think. Hold on. I'm starting to think that we got it from the same place. I used to watch Home Alone, like, religiously. I watched it every day for I think a year straight. So if that makes me wonder if that's where I didn't even think about it. It's just a word that has been in my vocabulary since I was a kid. And my mom didn't mind because I wasn't cursing. So she was like, whatever, like, that's fine. Don't care. And I've never heard anyone complain about it. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe today I'm going to put a poll up just, maybe in my Discord. So it's not anywhere in public, and just see what people think and see if it's like something that I'm just completely oblivious about, or if it's something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, rude.
I had to explain it to Zloy as well at one point as well, because he was saying it quite prolifically in live streams and stuff like that. And I just like DM'd him like, you know what that word means, right? And he's like, no. And I sent him the Google description. He's like, oh, I shouldn't say that anymore then. So,
yeah, I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Let's
Slack. I've given you one thing this week on the feedback and the questions, because most of them are quite long, and I assumed you'd be quite delirious with your
Are you saying I'm on medication because of my neck?
Yeah. So I've only given you one little thing. You've got a little bit in the Bugdate later on as well. So I don't know. I don't want you to take offense that I'm cutting you out of the feedback. I wanted to make life easy for you.
Beep. Just saying. Not cool. But anyways,
okay.
We're all good. Okay. We're all good. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Foxy. It's fine.
Good.
More
Excellent.
fines. Mm-hmm. Oh God, hold on. She's posting in our chat here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not what it means here. So anyway.
Right. Yes. Anyway.
Moving on. What's Daniel A got to say?
On Foxy's frustration with time needed to change accounts, I share an Xbox with my kids, and the account switching is very fast. The Xbox Series S is finally easy to find in stores and is cheaper than a computer, so that might be a good option. What are you talking about? Crazy switching accounts?
Okay, so I was basically complaining on Windows how difficult it is to switch your Xbox account that you're signed in on to play games, because if you've got alt accounts, the way you're supposed to do it is to have different Windows accounts, which is just an absolute pain. It messes up all your apps. I don't like it. You've got to reinstall everything on each account. It does your head in. But Daniel's saying on the Xbox Series S and Series X, you can just pick whichever account you want to play from a list, which is great. And you can And I do, but I don't play Minecraft on the Xbox because it drives me nuts. And I like to play it on the PC, and you can't do that. There's no quick switch, which is ridiculous. Why doesn't that exist on Windows? Why doesn't the same thing exist where you've got a bunch of accounts, you just click on whichever one you want to play on? That would be great, but it's not there on Windows. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that, Jessie?
No. I don't play on Xbox, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Like, it's never something that's affected me.
Okay, fair enough. And what do you think, Slack? Does it annoy you trying to switch in and out of accounts and stuff? Or I know you've got different devices now to do it, but if you're trying to do it on the same one.
At first, it was annoying. But then I finally figured out that as long as I kept my main Microsoft account logged in and I just switched on the Xbox app, it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, but it's when you switch on the Xbox app, you've got to click on your little icon and then log out, which takes a second because doing anything with your account takes ages.
Oh,
then
dear God, you're just
in.
like my mother. You're just impatient. Like
yeah,
when
I
we
am
were
really
sitting there,
impatient.
Yeah, I don't get how people can just be so impatient. Like when I was waiting for my surgery, I had to be there 8 a.m. Okay, you're on somebody else's timetable and everything else. You're there for an elective procedure, and they didn't get around to me till 11 o'clock.
But the annoying thing is, Slack, right? You click to sign in, right, and it signs you back in the one you've just signed in out of, and you're like, no, and then a little text at the bottom saying, unless you want to use a different account. Like, yeah, I want to use a different account. So then you've got to sign in from that, and each time it takes like 30 seconds for it to register that you've clicked a new one. And I know that seems quick, but when you're switching accounts a lot, like I used to for all my videos and story stuff, it drove me insane. So it's, yeah. Time's money at the end of the day. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, be okay.
Anyway, geez, moving on. Charged Leo says, here's a cool idea. A new frog variant, which would spawn in caves and be a bit bigger than the other frogs, as in real world. It will get slimy, or it will have some interaction when taken in slime chunks. Slime chunks have always been hard to locate unless you use external tools. It will, of course, also give different coloured frog block. I don't understand this, Charge Leo. First of all, I shouldn't have added it in because it's not really feedback. But what a cave frog that changes color in slime chunks? You know where slime chunks are because slime spawn.
Yeah, and they're universal on Bedrock. If you know one in one world, you know it in the other. It doesn't change.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on different colored larger frogs that are in caves and change color in slime chunks, Jessie?
No, it seems unnecessary to me. Like, I'm trying to understand maybe the point of view behind it, like trying to see what use that would have. It doesn't make sense to me, or it maybe not that it doesn't make sense, but I just don't understand the need for it.
Yeah. Sorry, Charge Leo.
No,
put that one in the bad idea bin.
Yeah, just put it over there with the copper golem. Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Emerald Thunder Programming says, I don't like the idea of the warden having a drop. A better way to make the skulk block renewable would be to have a city heart structure in the front of the city that is unbreakable. This would work like a skulk catalyst, but would be able to spawn in all skulk blocks, including the catalysts. Yeah, I think I get what they're trying to say. Maybe one of you technical people can explain it better to me.
Well,
the nub.
The skulk catalyst is the block where if a mob dies near it, it makes more skulk growth. So it's the block that you need to make a skulk farm in order to create a new XP farm. And they're not rare. No, yeah, they're not rare. They're all over the Deep Dark. And considering how ridiculously regular the Deep Darks in ancient cities are now in Bedrock Edition, they are literally everywhere underground. You're going to be just walking from one to the next, to the next, to the next. I really don't see why it needs to be renewable in this way. The other thing, it would just make sense to have it how it used to be in earlier development, where they would actually when the mobs die near these things, they will often spawn in a skulk sensor. Why don't you just spawn one of those from time to time instead? Which, yes, would mean the skulk is potentially going to spread further and maybe make your farm slightly less controllable. But I think that's a better way of doing it than just giving one to the warden to drop. I don't know. It just seems bizarre. So yeah, I don't think we need a new structure to generate them. I don't think they're going to be that rare. But yeah, what do you think, Slack?
I think I'll still get my XP from a guardian farm.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Good talk. Mm-hmm.
Okay, M2 Lansky says, hello, Foxy, Jenny, and Slack. I think I found out a partial way to fix the despawning entity bug. You'll like this one, Slack. When I saw that they recently fixed the annoying llamas that wasn't despawning, I realized it was happening because they were persistent. If they put persistent on villagers, bees, shulkers, iron golems, snow golems, and the future LA, it should prevent them from despawning. Even knowing that other passive mobs would continue to despawn, it's a big improvement. M2 Lansky died from emotional damages due to villagers despawning. Okay, M2 Lansky, I'm going to hit you with some knowledge now that you are confused, my friend. The villagers and all of those things are technically persistent mobs, and they do have that persistent tag. The problem is that if one wanders over a chunk border and the chunk unloads, it gets deleted. It's nothing to do with the fact that they've got a persistent tag. So as much as that's a great idea, it already exists.
It exists and just doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any thoughts on that, Jessie?
I'm always confused about why things happen the way that they do. But I have found with you guys, because you guys know more things than I do, that even if you code something a certain way, doesn't mean it's going to work that way. So it's nice having an idea of, okay, if they're always persistent or what have you, that should work. But knowing the game, it won't. just meh. I think it's just something that you have to learn the workaround for, which is chunk borders, right? Like that seems to be the bane of all technical existence. Unless you're just building for pretty, you really have to worry about where things are chunk aligned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just part of the game. If you're going to get into the technical side of the game, you've got to be aware of chunk borders. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Sorry, it's just how the game works.
Yep.
Is that Gaelic bread?
Yes.
It's Gaelic bread, right? Not garlic. Okay.
Yes.
I like garlic.
You said that and I was like, oh. Yeah. So Gaelic bread says, hey, Jessie and gents, Gaelic bread here with just a quick comment on the combining of the social media platforms and the Patreon topic. As a hairdresser for 20 years, the first thing we learn is your time is your money. We, as your not so level 99 viewers and listeners, are happy to support y'all and your amazing content that y'all put out each week. I know I value all of your time very much. You make me laugh so much and put a smile on my face. Keep up. Can't wait to see more to come. Gaelic bread. Thank you. I think that's something that in a normal field, I think everyone accepts, right? Your time is your money. Like, I think we get that for many conventional careers. When it comes to content creating, I think sometimes it's hard for that concept to really seep in because for us, well, for a lot of us, content creating is 24/7. I know I dream about my base sometimes. Like, I can't bill anyone for that. I can't be like, hey, I was out at the beach with my family, but I really was thinking about all of these plans that I have for my next video. So it's hard sometimes to find that line and to find where we feel we're taking advantage of a community. I know, at least for me personally, I struggle with what is something that I should ask for support for versus I want to ask for support for, and what realistically is the right answer, because they're all three different. So for me, I appreciate the want and the understanding and the support. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Slack?
That went way left field. I wasn't sure where that was going with that. It started with the combining of social media platforms like Patreon and stuff, and I got really confused because I was thinking like, oh yeah, YouTube's going to start streaming. Let's do everything on YouTube. And my immediate thought was, no, I'm not doing everything on one platform because that just sounds like suicide to me.
I think they were on about us join. I think maybe either they're confused or they've just not written it in the right way. That when we were talking last week about having a joint Patreon / Discord / website for this about. For the Minecraft Update podcast,
I think it could work. I think it could work. And I'll say this with a little bit of experience here now, because Jen and I, it's hard. Because we're both doing Minecraft related stuff. And literally, if you support one of us, you get the rewards that both of us offer now.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Well, because we're looking at it in the future that we're more or less going to be paying the bills all out of one bank account, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're supporting her, you're supporting me in return. So, if I got something, it's like we've had that talk before, and this is one of those we've had that talk in Truly Bedrock before. What if we did a community group server? I think it would be hard. I think it would be really hard. Like, I think me and her are in an exception because we're in a personal relationship, But
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But for the purposes of this, what we're doing here to help support the Minecraft update, a joint Patreon, I think it would work at the end of the day. If that's where we're going with this conversation, because my brain goes so many different places with that comment.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, if you're talking about something like TB, you've got a group of people, any group of people that have got a different amount of time to put into something. Some people are there, some people are not, and you've got money on the table. Some people are big YouTubers, some people are small. There's always going to inevitably be arguments over who should get what or how we should do this, and there's just too many people. Whereas what this is, it's all three of us joining together once a week to do something together. I don't see there's enough argument there to say, oh, this person's doing more than that person or anything like that. So, and there's no real like, hey, we should do this and we should do that, and maybe that'll happen at some point in the future. But it's a small group, so it's easier to deal with.
Yeah.
What I would say
like
about
on TV,
in terms,
it'd be a nightmare.
From what Jessiie, yeah, absolutely. What Jessiie was saying about time being money and not expecting it as a content creator, I do agree with that. But it's such a weird thing being a content creator because it depends on what your aspirations are. For me, it's like I don't mind doing all of this stuff and working really hard for all of these years and getting paid less than minimum wage because I enjoy it. But in my mind, I'm thinking one day I'll get to that point where I go beyond just paying the bills, and hopefully I'll hit that level where it's so far the other way. I'm just going to be effectively, ideally, I'm dreaming, getting rich off it. Because you look at a small content creator that's working 24 hours a day and earning nothing, and then you look at someone with a few million subscribers and they're putting out a video a month and earning millions. So, there's such a big disparity between those sorts of things. And if you've got that ambition and that's where you want to go, then work for it. You're happy to do that. Or you're looking at it as a hobby and you're just thinking, I'm happy doing this. I don't mind. I'm just happy that I'm getting something out of it. And then you've got the other side of things, the other content creators that just are really expectant and will push it and ask for money and all the time because they just see that this is a nice, easy way to get money from people. And us three aren't that, but those people do exist. There's plenty of them.
They exist. They exist out there. And, our communities know that they exist and they have very strong opinions about that kind of stuff. That's why we've got the communities that we've got. At the end of the day, you just got to be happy with who you are at the end of the day.
Yeah. And that's not
who you
just
work with.
That's not just people either. That's like companies as well. Look at Twitch. And I know you're obviously a big supporter of Twitch, Slack, but Twitch push to the content creators constantly get more money from your subscribers, get more money from your audience, run more ads. They're greedy. They're really greedy. And so that is pushed into these people, these younger people potentially, not always, but mostly younger like content creators going to Twitch going, oh, well, if they're telling me to do it, then that's okay. So they're going to, push it. So, you've just got to draw your own limits.
Though. Yeah, and it's all about your engagements, though, and what you want, or what you're acceptable with, No one's forcing people to sub. No one's forcing people to use bits, And it's like, it's like a lot of people are like, a lot of people are really hyped about the new YouTube stuff coming. I am too, but at the same time, YouTube takes a big cut out of stuff too. Let's not deny that.
Not as much.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those things that like we could go on about forever because there's going to be that big, there's big feelings regardless, right? All around everything. I mean, I often get asked every time I stream why I don't push like sounds, right? I don't push for people to do sounds. I rarely mention it. If somebody starts a hype train, I will say thank you, like especially for like gifted subs and stuff. I say thank you and I appreciate them and stuff. But I don't make a huge deal about it. I don't make it big and I don't make it flashy. And people always. I mean, I have so many people in my back chat saying, if you made a big deal about it, if you put like the big things everywhere and it made big sounds, people would do it more. And I'm like, yeah, but then to me personally, that feels very much like I'm
begging.
What is the
internet
word?
begging?
Yeah. Like
cyber
I'm internet.
begging.
it makes me feel like I'm begging. It makes me feel very much like I'm taking advantage or I'm peer pressuring people. And I don't like that. And it's a personal thing. I know tons of people who do it and they make really good money off of it and their communities love it and it's fine. Me, I can't do it. And that's just a total personal thing. And I think that's something that people don't realize is there's so many different types of streamers, different types of content creators. And we all have our own preferences and what our lines are, where our morality is, where any of this stuff is. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm not going to judge anyone for trying to make a living, but it's just not me. It's not the way I'm going to do it. And that's fine.
I don't want to keep battering on this same subject because we should probably move on because we've got a lot to talk about. But I mean, just to say one more thing, I noticed the other day myself, I'm finally comfortable actually asking people to like and subscribe on YouTube in my videos. I used to hate doing that, and that doesn't cost anyone anything, but I just felt like such a fraud asking for people to do that. And like,
I don't see nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
unless it's like 10 seconds into the video. Like if I click your video and you're like, please like this video, 75% of my people, I'm going to click off your video.
Yeah. They're right at the beginning.
Give me
It's
5
like,
minutes
no,
at least.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, moving on. Extreme Game DNA says, hey, Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. I was listening to last week's episode and heard someone make a suggestion on what echo shards could be used for in the future and had a good idea. Or so I think. What if you could use the shards to get an effect on the sword or shield, sonic slash for the sword or sonic shield for the shield? The sword effect could send out a slash of sound when you slash, kind of like knockback but better, and the sonic shield could be used mainly for exploring the deep dark city, so if you are attacked by the warden, it will stun or confuse him, giving you time to get away and out of his search range. Love the podcast, keep it up. Extreme Game DNA. P.S. Sorry for calling Jesse Flipper last week. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think we should have more magical stuff in terms of weapons and stuff in Minecraft, so I'd be happy to have a sonic slash on my sword. I think it'd be great.
Sounds like Sweeping Edge to me.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, me too.
I'm happy to have it.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, add that one in the good ideas bin. Right.
Uncle Melbourne Mike says, hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. Hopefully this isn't truly stupid question, but if it is, I'm sure we'll all get a few laughs from your response. Since 1.18.30, I find my bed is quite often too far away to sleep. An in-game message I'd never seen before. I'm fairly sure I'm no further away than I used to be. Has anything changed, or have my arms grown so much that I can touch my bed from much further away? Uncle Melbourne Mike spent the night running away from mobs as his bed was too far away. I also have had that message a lot more than usual. That it's something I noticed the other day. I don't know if anything's changed though.
I always get that. I'm constantly getting that message. I stand right next to my bed and it's like, oh, your bed's too far away. I'm like, I stand right next to it. So I don't know. Maybe that's a device specific thing. I've no idea. But yeah.
I've never had it.
Really? Oh,
not since the update at all, and I've been playing pretty much daily and never had it.
It must be just how like comfortably lazy we are at going to our beds. Then must say something about us all individuly. Jesse's obviously not going like sometimes
I always stand on the
enough.
Bed.
Yeah, you're Slack's on the bed, and I'm just stood in a different room going, why? Jeez. Okay. M2 Lansky says, hello, you guys. I love the podcast and listen. Some of them, I saw you guys saying that Mojang block access to files on mobiles. Actually, this was a Play Store thing saying it was to protect users, but I found a file manager that allow Minecraft players to install add-ons and others, and the file manager is called Solid Explorer. By the way, I not got paid for this. I just want to help the mobile community keep up with the good content. Great. Good. Excellent. There you go. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'll tell you now, be careful with some of the things you use on mobile, because I know some people, like I'll say this now, if you're using certain clients in my community, you'll be banned from every one of my servers. Certain ones allow for some shady stuff. Just not saying their names, but yep.
Yeah. So just be careful with you downloading anything from, especially the Play Store, because it's not 100% verified stuff like you get on Apple. So just be wary and take things carefully. Make sure you got a virus scanner on your phone. Slack, I'll give you the last one, since you chucked it in at the end there.
I did. I chucked something in. I don't remember chucking something in.
No, I did.
Oh, was it you, was it? Oh, sorry. I'm going to give it to Slack anyway because it's short.
Fine. I'll read it. Okay. This one's mine, Jessiie. Can I read one today? Is it okay, Jessiie?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are
Just
you
one.
sure?
Yep.
Okay. You going to watch your language as I read it? Just saying.
I'll try my best.
That's okay. From Ozetta here. I thoroughly enjoyed Foxy calling Jessiie out this week. Sometimes when we get stuck in a mental loop, a friend calling us out on it is a good way to get out of the mental loop.
What did I call you out on?
I don't know any context here.
Yeah. You said, what did you say? You said, has anyone ever told you that you're too agreeable?
Yeah. I didn't consider that calling you out.
You mean Jessiie goes with the flow? She's,
yeah.
Jessiie, let's go do this today. Oh, yeah, this sounds like a good idea. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Well, Foxy, if you try to do that with him, you got to tell him 15 times and say it all wrong until he finally gets it in his head that he came up with the idea. And it's like, oh, yeah, that sounds good, Foxy.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, geez. Right. Okay. If you would like to leave us feedback, you can either sending an email to the old email address, but we got a new one now because we bought a domain name. So you can send an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com and it will go to exactly the same place as it used to using the magic of Google domains. Right, okay, that's the feedback done. We're obviously going to be going into the news now, and we've got a whole chunk of news, but we don't have to elaborate too much. One of them we've already touched on, and that is Google Streaming now has raids, or sort of. They're calling it Live Redirect, which is a name that everybody in the world hates, and they're basically like Twitch raids, but they don't work at all, because not only do you have to have your subscriber list public to the world to be able to use it, you also need to have over 1,000 subscribers to send one, no strikes or like copyright issues on your channel, and the people that are raiding you have to approve them to raid you beforehand. So it's all about protecting against hate raids, I believe, is why they put all of these blocks in the way.
Yeah.
But it means that it's very, very little chance or opportunity for you to ever be raided or raid anyone, particularly outside of your friends list or subscriber list, which is kind of a weird thing and doesn't really help for people like discoverability or anything like that. So it kind of feels a little bit like a waste of time to me. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm going to jump in on this one here real quick, Jessiie, if you don't mind.
Okay.
One of the biggest things I don't like about this is the fact that your subscriptions need to be public. Okay. Now, my YouTube account I've had since pretty much YouTube came out, like 2013. Okay. So I'm subscribed to stuff on there that, frankly, you all don't need to know. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But, like, I'm just going to touch on this one just very vaguely. Okay. I live in America. Foxy lives in England. We can't talk about gun rights. We don't agree on that. Right, Foxy?
Yes.
Right. You don't need to see if I have something in my subscription feed about that. And you can't raid my channel because I don't need people knowing what I watch on YouTube. I don't like that at all. That's dumb. I'm sorry, but that's dumb.
There's an argument that you could have your, just two different accounts and you watch YouTube on one and you content create on the other, which is fine. And there is kind of a system, although it doesn't work, where you can approve accounts rather than have them in your subscription list. So you can keep your subscription list hidden as long as you've got these accounts that you want people to, not that you will send raids to, but that you want to receive raids from in this list. But at the moment, it only works if you've got your sub list public as well. So it doesn't work, but that's how it's supposed to work. So it's all, yeah, it's just nonsense.
It's a step in the right direction. I think they just stepped on the wrong foot.
Yeah, absolutely. Jessiie, have you got any thoughts on that?
I honestly don't mind it. It's one of those things where I do have two separate accounts. This used to be just my normal YouTube account, but as soon as I started actually making content, I completely got off this account for my regular watching. So the only people this account is subscribed to are either TB members or like other Minecraft YouTubers. So I wouldn't be worried about it at all. And it's not something that would affect me in a negative way. So for someone like me, this is fine. It doesn't bother me at all. But I absolutely can see why people either, one, don't want to have multiple accounts, or two, just in general don't want people seeing what they're subscribed to. Like, that's a privacy thing. Some people just really mind and others don't. So I think that's a weird stipulation to have. Like that one seems like they can throw that out and it'll be just fine.
I think if you're a big YouTuber and you've got your subscription list public, then you're going to have to be very careful about who you subscribe to, because if any of the people that you subscribe to come under any sort of scrutiny, then you're going to automatically be like, oh, well, you're subscribed so. Look at the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case at the minute.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, the Aquaman guy, Jason Momoa, he followed Johnny Depp on Instagram, not Amber Heard. So obviously, and you just think, oh, it's just clicked a button. You know?
It's dumb, but it's dumb, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, do I care if you know who I'm subscribed to? No, I don't. Will I stand by who I'm subscribed to? More than likely, I'm not going to change my opinions or my views on anything, but there's no point in it becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
it's unneeded, unneeded stress that just doesn't have to be there.
And the other thing that there's a problem with this as well. So I was watching Alpha Gaming Channel, who basically did a test of this on their two channels. So they got their personal channel and the Alpha Gaming Channel, and they were streaming on YouTube and raiding their other channel through it. And there were Google employees in the chat that were telling them how broken it was. All the bugs in there. And they pointed out that the rigmarole you have to actually go through to raid another channel is ridiculous. So if you're streaming, you're putting out content, you've got to be relatively most of the time on the ball, dealing with your chat, being entertaining to a certain degree, basically keeping up the expectations of what your chat is, expecting from you. So to then at the end of your stream have to take, and he was like, it took me 5 minutes, 5 minutes to not only find the URL for the channel that I'm going to. It doesn't just come up in a list like it does on Twitch. You just click a list and it's like, oh yeah, you can raid any of these people. You've got to go off and find the URL. It doesn't show you what they're streaming or what's going on in their stream. So you got to click a different link and actually open it up in a browser to check out what they're doing. Make sure you actually want to, send someone over to their stream. And then if they're not in your allowed list or they're not in yours, it doesn't work and it just comes up with a little error and you keep clicking on it. And it was just a nightmare. And then apparently when they actually sent the raid over, they tried to send over 1,200 people and only 1,000 got through. So 200 people just got lost in the system somewhere. So it's, again, it's heading in the right direction, but it's just at the moment, it just feels like they shouldn't have released it yet. They should have just been like, we're working on it, but it's going to be a while.
I mean, that could be the same argument over spectator mode, just saying.
Yeah.
True.
But then you don't have to subscribe to 1,000 people to open up spectator mode and open up your friends list to the entire world, So
or do you now? Bum, bum, bum. Info's not readily available out there for you how to get into it.
Well, that's true. Right, moving away from Google streaming, which has got nothing to do with Minecraft, and into the Java Edition Snapshot 22W18A. And the Snapshot and the beta this week are basically just fixes and bug fixes. So I've got a very strong feeling that we are at the end of our development cycle and heading into, I reckon we're probably going to get what they call pre-releases, release candidates soon on Java Edition. Anyway, there's not really a great deal to say other than allays now follow their liked player, even if they can't see them, as long as they're within 64 blocks. So they can find you even if you go in caves or behind walls and stuff like that. So that's kind of useful. The texture of the sonic boom's been updated, so it looks a little bit different. And they've got a fantastic new feature, which I'd love on Bedrock Edition, but we're not going to get it for a while, I wouldn't have thought. And that's called Place. And instead of Place Feature, which they got a while ago, you can actually place features such as trees and biome-specific stuff, jigsaws, which are what create the structure stuff together, and whole structures. So you can literally write a command and just place an entire village in the world, or a deep dark, or an ancient city, or a desert temple, or a jungle temple, or anything, just anywhere in the world. And it's just fantastic. So, yeah, I want one of those. That's
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a sonic boom.
The sonic boom is the Warden's new ranged attack, Slack. Have you not seen it?
Remember last 2 weeks I had company?
Oh,
and
man,
next
I didn't
surgery?
realize you were that out of it. Jeez, okay, so the Warden now has this, it's got a ranged attack that goes through walls, goes through shields, and ignores armor as well. It can shoot it from far away. It's supposed to do 5 hearts of damage. It actually does 7.5 on Bedrock Edition. It can fire it every 2 seconds, and it is insane. I've done a couple of one on stream and one in. Oh, go on. Sorry.
The equivalent of Hadouken?
Yeah, basically, but it's fast.
Okay.
It's really fast.
Okay. Right.
As soon as it fires it hits you. There's no dodging it. So
no pillaring up.
Yeah, no pillaring up, no hiding in holes, no hiding behind walls. You can even block up with wall and it goes through it. You know,
what if you pillar up high enough and shoot it with an arrow?
No high enough. You can.
How far can it shoot?
It's a long way, a really long way. I was running away from it. I must have been 30 blocks away from the ward, and then it just came out of nowhere. Boom, dead. It was crazy.
Did it do a get over here as well, or is it just Hadouken?
No, it didn't. Unfortunately, not.
Get over here.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like it. It actually made the warden scary, you know, because before you could just run away, you could walk away from the warden. And now it's like, no, jeez, I'm dead. And I love that feeling. So that's absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people hate it, but I think it's great. Right. In the rest of that snapshot, it is just a big old list of bug fixes, which I'm not going to read out. But if you want to check them out, you can. I will link all of these things in the show notes below, as usual. So moving on from the Java snapshot to the Minecraft beta and preview, 1.19.0.30 or 1.19.0.31, or if you're on Xbox, 1.19.0.65, because why not? Again, it's pretty much just bug fixes and updates. So spectator mode's got some real love on it. It's well, although I've seen a few videos showing all the bugs with it, but it works really well. You don't just get stuck in a horizontal plane if you're not flying already. You can just go straight into fly mode. You can see way more underground. You can't attack, you can't build, you can't drop items, you can't use items, you can't open your inventory, you can't interact with the world, you can't open chests. It's basically very similar to actual spectator mode, albeit still missing quite a few substantial features, but it works a hell of a lot better than it used to. So, yeah, thoughts on that before I move on to other bits?
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
I was going to say, does that, I don't know how to word that. What does that mean for your spectator mode add-on? Is it going to be easier with this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a million times easier because I don't have to try and fake it. I can just literally put players into spectator mode. Yeah.
Yay.
Mayfly, no longer falling out of the sky is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you will just be in spectator mode. So, it's going to make...
thumping anymore?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shouldn't... Well, no, I can't guarantee that because it's still... You'll still effectively be flying on servers, so you'll still be bouncing up and down if you've got the... If you want to break blocks without the block lag, then you got to bounce up and down. So, unless they fix that.
But it's a spectator. It's not a breaking block account.
I know, but it's like any entity that's floating will visually bounce up and down just because of the way the server handles entities.
As long as it
flying.
doesn't affect my time lapse, so that like suddenly being at level 60 and now it's at like -6. I don't care.
We'll have to see what happens when it comes through. But yeah, as soon as this gets a little bit further down the line and I feel it's more stable, will be absolutely switching out my my stuff that relies on that. Like my hardcore add-on and stuff like that will all get this because it just makes so much more sense. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that getting better and better. One thing I will say though, when testing with this is in spectator mode and in creative mode, you've got all of your hearts and your XP bar still there visually, whereas before you would just in creative mode you would just have your hot bar, and yeah, so that's a bit like off-putting when you're in creative mode and it just feels like you're in survival. You can't tell any difference, so yeah, a bit weird. Anyway, moving on from spectator mode, the allay now no longer stops moving when attempting to reach an item that's too far away while being leashed, so that's great news. Ancient cities have got a little bit of love. They shouldn't be waterlogged as often, or waterlogged with lava? Lava-logged. What's the word? I don't know. And the Skulk Shriekers and the Skulk Sensors have got a bit of love as well, and the thing I like most about the Skulk Sensor is that it now... Get this, guys. Now, it won't detect you when you're looking at a tamed animal. It says here, a player looking at a tamed animal does not produce vibrations anymore.
No.
So
That's
The fact that it
Interesting.
does produce vibrations in the game right now mildly terrifies me.
yeah, it's
So
weird.
so like Zedos is that sheep looking at me? It knows you're looking at it.
Yeah, you're sending vibes over to the to the tamed animals. Kind of weird, but yeah, that's got loads of stuff. The Wardens had a few buffs and updates, but nothing really particularly excited. It doesn't get angry at XP obs anymore, so that's nice,
Oh,
and it
that's
won't
sad.
chase like tridents and inanimate objects anymore. So that's good. And that's it for those things. The mangrove stuff's got a bit better. The propagule has a same growing speed as Java Edition. Bees can now pollinate it. You can actually craft mangrove planks now from the stripped mangrove logs even. And that's kind of a bit it for that, I guess. And really, to be honest with you, there's not all that much else going on other than fixes and stuff. One thing I do like, though, is that, how on Bedrock we were complaining that when we break a hopper minecart or a chest minecart or a chest boat, we get like the chest and the boat back rather than the item. They will all just drop the full item now. So if you've made a hopper minecart, there's no more just getting your minecart and hopper back. It's just going to come back as a hopper minecart. So that's a
Oh,
I
nice
like
change.
that.
Mangrove roots can't be used as fuel in furnaces anymore, which is fine. I don't see that being a big issue. And yeah, that's kind of it really. So exciting stuff ahead. I think we're nearly there. Oh, and on I missed up two major things, guys. I'm being an idiot because I'm rushing again. The nether mobs will now spawn in light levels of up to 11 in the nether. Not all of them. It's just the enderman, piglin skeletons, and wither skeletons, because obviously there's not really very many opportunities in the nether to have a light level of 0 with all the with all the lava around. So you should see a few more of those kicking about. I don't think it'd be too much of a problem now. And we've got 3 new achievements. Oh no, 4 new achievements. Sorry, I missed the Sneak 100 from my update video. There is It Spreads, Birthday Song, With Our Powers Combined, and Sneak 100. And I think we can guess what It Spreads means. I think that's going to be just spreading Skulk by killing a mob near a Skulk Catalyst. Sneak 100 is probably just going to be using Swift Sneak. But I have no idea what Birthday Song is or With Our Powers Combined, because there's no... I looked for these in the game. I couldn't see any sign of them. There's no description as to what they are, so it's anyone's guess on those, I guess. Any thoughts on any of that?
I'm willing to bet with our powers combined, it's the shards to make the disc.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I didn't know if that would be Birthday Song, though.
Well, it may not be birthday song, but it may be with our powers combined.
But what's powers got to do with music disc shards?
Who knows? It's a mythical powered items that makes a music disc. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's not, no, because you're making the music disc from just fragments of disc. I think the echo shards make the recovery compass. Are you confusing the echo shards with the music
Well,
disc
maybe
fragments?
they're both related to that kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I thought there was a music
Yeah.
disc that was made with shards.
No, it's made with just bits of music disc. So they're basically...
They look like shards, to be fair. Yeah, I was thinking that one of them would be completing the disc, and one of them probably has to do with the compass. I don't know which one, but that would have been my guess.
Yeah, I mean, the Birthday Song, maybe that's actually just playing music disc 5, but in which case, why is it called Birthday Song?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
I'm not Googling and looking at random sites, seeing what they said. The new achievement is spreads, and with our challenge advancements, audible experience, but they grant no experience. Everything's fine. I'm just looking at bug trackers. It's okay.
Okay, well, while you do that, nice and quietly,
that.
we'll move on to talking about the Minecraft beta being retired. Now, it said on the tweet that this is only on Windows, but I don't understand why they would just stop the beta on Windows and not on Android as well. Having said that, the preview hasn't come to Android yet, so maybe that's why. But yeah, this month, May 2022, they are binning the Minecraft beta. So if you use that, you're going to have to move to the Minecraft preview instead. And all of the details on how to do that are in the help articles. Again, I will link those in the description below if you want to move on to that. So, that's good. but it's also kind of bad because I like using the beta rather than the preview with my version switcher because it's the same game that I can hop in and I'll hop out of. I don't like it being a separate thing because all of my add-ons and worlds and stuff I'll have to move them all physically over there each time I load into it, which is kind of annoying. So I think I probably have to make a preview switcher now.
Well, they can't let you out of because you're stuck. Remember, you can't get out of that. You're stuck.
Well, yeah, that's it for me. Never ever getting Minecraft from the store again, by the sounds of it. But I can't anyway. I have to use these.
I've got answers to both of them for you. There you go in our chat.
Okay, so Slack has got information. Looks like from Java Edition with the same advancements. Says with our powers combined, have an allay drop a cake. Oh no, that's a birthday song. Have an allay drop a cake at a note block. Okay.
And the other one with our powers combined looks like it deals with frog lights.
Yeah, so something to do with the frog light. So I guess maybe if you get all 3 different colors of frog light, that will give you that one. So that's cool. Nice. Oh, we know more. This is excellent news day. Jessie, have you got any thoughts on any of those things?
I am so bad when it comes to the advancements and stuff that they'll probably be there for like 2 more years before I get around to doing them.
I still don't think I've done aquatic update ones yet.
I've done nearly all of them. I got a bunch left to do. I am trying to do them, but it's just one of those things that you get to the difficult ones, you think, I can't be bothered to do that.
Well, I got the hardest one a couple of years ago. Knock a friend off above an ocean to destroy a mob farm. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, thanks, bud. I really appreciate it. Wow. Okay. Next piece of news. Now, Slack, you might like this one. It's definitely something worthy of talking about, and it's secret news because no one knows about it except me. And it's because I knew about it before from obviously things that I'm involved with, but now it's public, and that is that there is a way to add in dimension files into Minecraft Bedrock add-ons that allow you to change the world height in game, the build limit. You can change the build limit for all the way down to minus 512 and all the way up to plus 512, meaning that you could have a world build limit of 1024 blocks. Now, you can also reduce it down to just 16 blocks. They have to go in 16 or thingies of 16. So you can have a world from 0 to 16 and have no underground. And it's really interesting because that obviously means that if you've made some sort of map or you're working on an adventure map, you can just limit the number of blocks that you don't need vertically, and the game runs just a million times faster. And testing that on the TB world, just limiting the number of blocks and putting my render distance up to 96, all the chunks just loaded in instantly. It was absolutely fantastic. It is limited to only the overworld at the minute, which is sad because that means we can't increase the build height in the nether, which is obviously what everyone's going to want to use this for. So we can build on the nether roof like in Java Edition. And at the moment, it doesn't allow you to.
Why can we not accept not building on the nether roof?
Look, at the end of the day, there's always going to be people that want to be able to do that. You know as well as I do, there's a big calling for that on in the Bedrock community.
I know, but it's Bedrock. It's not meant to be broke through.
I know it's not, but people want it. Okay, yeah. So if people want it, and there's a way to do it, people are gonna do it.
Yeah, because it's one of those things. They won't ever take it away from Java. They won't. It's not ever going anywhere. And the fact that Java can do it and we can't just really rustles people's feathers. And we got
trident killers. Just saying.
And either they're going to take those away from us or they're going to give them to Java. There's no way that one isn't going to cross borders as well.
No, exactly. And now, getting onto the other side of this is at the moment, there's only one type of generation you can actually have while using this. So you basically use it as a void world generator. So it'll just, instead of generating any chunks, it will just generate a complete void world. So this is completely and utterly designed for map makers and marketplace people. But the fact that this is like a data-driven tool and that the void is an option, although at the moment it's the only option, leads me to believe that in the future that'll allow you to change the generation type. So we will be able to use this in survival.
Yeah, it could be fun for custom maps. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it could add a lot to different types of survival challenges as well. You know, if you had a world that only had 16 blocks underground and 16 blocks overground, you're going to have a completely different game to anyone else. I see a lot of challengey stuff coming out of this. I think it'd be really
Mhm.
interesting. I think it'd be really cool. So yeah, just to clarify on that, that means if you do use this on a pre-existing world that's in survival, then any chunks that haven't already been loaded in will generate as void. So don't make a backup of your world if you're going to use this, because you will have lots of chunks missing. And the other really clever thing about this is that if you use this on an existing world like TB and you decide I'm going to cut off the mountains at Y96, right? And then, or whatever level you choose to cut off the world at below or above, those blocks don't disappear. They don't get deleted. If you take the add-on away again, they all come back. So it's just literally stopping the game rendering these things and just adding into the memory. However, there is a downside, as I found from testing, that if you've got villagers or entities or anything in those in those chunks, because they've got no blocks to stand on, they all just fall out of the world and die. So yeah, not ideal for survival. So, but I'm excited about it anyway, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting moving forward with the game. I think it's a good tool for additional map making and survival challenges and stuff like that. But it's not vanilla. It's like one player sleep, not vanilla. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is this is probably just my brain going on overdrive in terms of speculation and stuff like that. But if we're getting dimensional files, does this again indicate we might be getting a new dimension?
Yeah. I knew exactly where your brain went with that. As soon as you said that, I made that connection. I was just like, yeah, just let him sit here. Just let him build up to it. Mm-hmm.
It's a far stretch from that one, but why not?
It's open for the future. It's not out of the question. If they're giving us the ability to do dimension files, then they're opening it up for the community to be able to potentially do that in the future. And if the community can do it, why not? I mean, literally, yeah. Good job, guys. Good job.
Exactly. However, we still don't have a teleport or execute command that allows you to pick dimensions. So it's all right having more dimensions, just getting to them is impossible. So maybe that'll come with time as well. Right, moving on from that, we've got a couple of extra bits of news here. One is I just wanted to add it in because I'm sure you're probably all aware who Jappa is, or Jasper, frequently mentioned in Minecraft Snapshot updates, particularly for 1.16, 1.17, 1.18, because they were basically the lead pixel artist for most of the new blocks that came in those updates. And they've been promoted to the art director of Minecraft now, so they'll be doing less pixel art design and actually, coming up with how Minecraft is going to look in like all round from now on. So that's, exciting for Jappa. Well done. Good job. Any thoughts on that, guys?
No, more power to them.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing, I think, to be able to see somebody's progression and get spaces like that when they've been in the community for so long. Like, they've been around forever. Like, as long as I can remember, they've been a prominent name. So having like a big title like that is just kind of cool, just to be able to say I've seen the progress, or I've seen what is the word I'm looking for? The evolution is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. And the
Foxy,
last bit.
This? Yeah, what is this? I just looked at this last
I
night.
didn't think
Foxy,
you
what
were
is this?
aware of this. The last piece of news is that a group of people have managed to crack their way into the bin files, the new material files for Render Dragon, which basically are the old shader files, but just they're what's the word? They're made in a way that is supposedly unreadable unless you've got the way that they were put together. But they've hacked into them, they've cracked them, they've even put software online so that you can edit them yourselves, and they've even made new chunk lines packs with them. So it looks like shaders are finally coming back to Bedrock Edition. I don't know how Microsoft are going to handle this when they find out whether or not they'll have takedown requests on those files, which are freely available through GitHub at the moment. But yeah, I watched a video of it was Rufus Atticus, who was actually demonstrating one of these demos of the world with the chunk lines in, and it looks just like it used to. So this is very exciting.
Yes, I'll take 2, please.
I thought you might like it, Mr. I always had chunk lines turned on. That also means light levels things will be able to come back, and all of the other good stuff we had as well. So
look, do these people take private funding?
Yeah, so I don't know whether that's something we should be advertising on this podcast or not, because technically it's against the terms and conditions. It's cracking files. It's sharing stuff that probably shouldn't be shared. I don't know. It's not like we're giving the game away for free.
Well, no, but
so
isn't
nice.
technically a Minecraft version launcher technically cracking things? It shouldn't
No,
be
it's
cracked,
not. It doesn't. It's not at all. What my version switcher doesn't do anything other than what you would do if you knew how to write, type in PowerShell commands. It just installs the game. So no, it doesn't go into any of the game files or do anything like this. This is literally taking files out of the game, opening them up in ways that shouldn't be opened up, changing them and putting them back in again. So it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more on the fringe of being not legal, but I can't see it being illegal. I just think it's probably breaks the terms of use of the Minecraft license agreement of whatever. So I don't know, bit of an odd one, but I definitely probably will be getting involved with this. That
one's a good one.
Yeah, so when they actually release those packs, obviously I'll be all over it. So check out my Discord for that, or the Minecraft update Discord should it appear over the next few weeks. And we'll put all this information in there as it comes out. Breaking news, it's exciting. Speaking of breaking news, Slack, it's the end of the news.
Oh, that's all the news.
Yeah, we broke the news, and there's no more of it. So that takes us swiftly into the bug date, and I believe Jessie's got a book for us today, although it's not written in there.
Do I have a bug?
Didn't you say? I'm sure you said earlier that you've got something for the bug date. Did you not?
I think I did, and I think I forgot. The only bug I have been experiencing a lot lately is the RTX one.
Oh my God. You can't leave the game at all with RTX on without crashing every time. That's so annoying.
Crashes my game, crashes everything. It's been a pain in the tuchus. It'll load and it'll be a completely black screen, and I'm like, okay, broken. So that's been a bug that I'm not exactly happy with.
I believe that has been fixed in the 1.19 betas, but I haven't tried it. Speaking of 1.19 betas, though, the latest one with the changes to the Deep Dark and the Ancient City stuff has a lot of errors throwing up as you're going around to do with the anchor points of the jigsaw building blocks of the structures that have clearly broken somehow. So, that was my bug that I've listed on here. There's no bug report for that, though, so I guess I should probably write one. But we do have a couple of bug reports from the community, which is nice, unless you've got any Slack that you want to slip in before I go into those.
No, other than this update, just their damage calculation things just seem a lot worse. Don't clip your toe on something as you're flying, or you're going to lose like 7 hearts of damage.
Yeah, all of this. Hey, we've improved the damage calculations. Damage going to be a lot more accurate. Your uniform, your armor's going to be better, and we've fixed this and we've fixed that. And all I hear from people in the Discord is how deadly Minecraft is now. Like, I was making a big deal at the beginning of this season on Truly Bedrock that I could just walk up to a creeper and explode in my face and only take half our damage. And now people are saying they're like 10 blocks away and getting one-shotted by a creeper explosion. So, yeah. And I watched you, like in the TB meeting we had yesterday, you were flying and you just clipped a wall flying and lost half your hearts. And I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. And then the food changes where it's supposed to be better. In some situations, it's worse. Don't get in water. You get in water, you might as well be prepared to eat golden carrots like one after the other.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's
good.
Yeah, apparently you didn't lose saturation in water before, and now it's like nonstop sand. Oh God, sand. You can't eat fast enough. Yep.
Yeah, that one I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. Jeez. Okay. Hey, speaking of soul sand, they actually intentionally put a bug into Bedrock Edition in not the last beta, but the one before, because you know how frogs were just spinning around on mud blocks because they technically weren't full blocks like soul sand. In order to fix their pathfinding, because fixing the pathfinding's too hard, they just made the blocks full blocks so that you don't sink into them anymore. But they managed to also accidentally do the same thing with soul sand, so you no longer sink into soul sand now. Still go slow down, but you don't physically go lower, which I think might have quite a negative effect on a couple of different farms that use that mechanic. So, yeah, good jobs all round with all of these intentional things.
Don't get me started on entity lag and XP. It's gotten worse.
Oh, jeez. Well, let's hope that Dragoon and Balrog have some good news for us in the Bugdate. Dragoon says, question/bug comment. Hi, peeps. Watching Fox's working bakery video and the warning for 1.18.30. The what?
Huh?
Your house. The entity crash and corruption with mobs moving unloaded chunks. Foxy says they've changed how chunks and entities are stored. So is there some possible light that maybe entities vanishing on chunk borders and assorted vanishing entity bugs may be getting looked at? And that, I didn't think of that when this was the case. But yeah, that could be a thing. So if you guys don't already know, in 1.18.30, they changed how entities are stored. They're no longer stored with the chunk data. They're stored separately to it, which makes the whole system a lot more optimized and a lot quicker to actually store these entities. But it did cause the problem where if an entity went into an unloaded chunk and then someone tried to load that chunk, it tried to load in an infinite number of entities, which then broke the game, broke the computer, broke the power grid where that person lived, and shut down the electrical systems for the entire planet, which was a bit of a problem. So they swiftly put out 1.18.30 and fixed that. But I think the way they're storing entity data is different. So yeah, it's not entirely impossible that we might see an end to entities vanishing on chunk borders. Have you had it happen yet on 1.18.30?
No, you wouldn't let me test it yesterday neither when we had our TB meeting, and I found you had sheep. Your sheep pen was across the chunk border, and your sheep were standing on the border, and you were like, "No, don't do it."
Why do my sheep have to be the guinea pigs?
Well, why not? I mean, potato, tomato. It's the right place, right time. You wouldn't let me test it, so I don't know.
Use Jay's villagers. She's used to them.
Oh yeah, because villagers are so less important. Yeah.
Speaking of entities disappearing, sad news for my prune tool because of these changes to the world stuff in 1.18.30. If you trim your world, all of the entities in it will be deleted. You're welcome. So, and they don't know how to fix it. Jeez, I need to do some serious looking into how all of this has changed and how I'm supposed to fix that. But yeah, don't use my prune tool on 1.18.30 or above. Jeez.
Good job there, Foxy. Good job. Way to break it.
Yeah. Jessiie, you got anything to say on these entities disappearing?
I mean, that's an oops. But not much to say, but better luck next time.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Slack, you've got Mr. Balrog, the last one.
Bugdate. A shulker can teleport to what would otherwise be deemed as a non-spawnable block like rails or solid blocks as long as the underlying solid block is a spawnable block. Change it to glass and the shulker can't teleport to it.
Okay. So that's kind of weird, isn't it?
So shulkers can't teleport to non-spawnable blocks? Is that the way I understand it?
Yeah, I think it says it means that they can teleport to non-spawnable blocks if they've got a spawnable block directly underneath, but not glass.
That's weird.
So, yeah, that's really weird.
So they could teleport onto rails as long as the block underneath of it was something that they could spawn on. But if it was glass and there was rails on top of it, then they couldn't teleport. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Balrog. I really appreciate the heads up on that. It's going to be really useful for me going forward. Jeez. Why do we never get any good ones? Jeez.
Wow, why you got a bad
I think that is a really useful one considering we've now got the shulker farm stuff.
But I haven't even looked at it yet, and I want to know nothing of the mechanics.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. And I still think this is one of those ones that I want to get involved with, but I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to let everyone else do it first.
I went and bought shulkers from somebody on TB. I was like, hey, you can clone shulkers? No, I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Take my diamonds.
Yeah, exactly. Right, peeps, if you would like to leave us information about bugs that are bugging you, then you can email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com and put Bugdate in your subject line so that we know it's to do with bugs. And now we're going to move on to Jessiie B's favourite section. She gets all excited and lets loose with her mouth. But before we do that, we're going to let her let loose with some singing and have a little bit of a dance break because I need the toilet again. Because apparently I can't go more than an hour and a half.
No, I need that too. Right. Right.
Back in a mo.
Okay. Well, I suppose I could sing a little off the cuff here and just be like, we're gonna sing a song that isn't something that can get copyrighted. Doo-doo-doo. So we're singing a song about how the boys can't hold their bladders. Woo! Sorry. I don't know what is going on with me today.
Why is it, Jessiie B, that I went like 3 times before the podcast started to make sure that I didn't need to go during the podcast, and nothing. There was nothing there. Halfway through, well, not even like an hour and a half into the podcast, and I've just had about 2 weeks worth of wee. I don't understand.
It's because when you're having to go before, you're not sitting on your bladder. Like, you're not sitting. There's no pressure anywhere.
I've been sat here all day at this chair doing this.
And you had much liquid. Maybe your system just is slow.
It just knows. It knows if I'm live streaming or doing a podcast, it's just like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to make you very uncomfortable. Jeez. How was the dance break? Did it go well?
It was okay until I got terrified. Evie is awake, by the way, now. And she's, playing with her kuya. But she has decided she now knows how to climb to the top bunk, which is
nice.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't able to do that before because her legs weren't long enough to there's a big gap. She wasn't able to get up there. And apparently now she can. So they're both on the top bunk. And I am sitting here trying not to have a heart attack because obviously she doesn't know how to get down. So this will be this will be fun.
Oof. Well, there is one easy way down, so I'm sure she'll figure it out.
Jeez.
Well,
yeah. I'm about to tell Ethan to put the big beanbag chair on over the side. Actually, hold on.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
man.
Are we all back, ready and prepared to move on to the questions?
Yeah.
Do we have a good dance break?
I'm pretty sure it will be epic. I'm ready for it.
You're probably gonna laugh.
You can dance
I'm
if
looking.
you want to.
It's the best time is the editing. Is like, I wonder what happened at this point. I'm really looking forward to that. Right. Anyway, moving into the questions. Dragoon is back saying, question. Hi all. I'm not sure if TB is up to 1.18.31 yet, but have you guys had chance to play on the new versions much with the new damage? I went end raiding on Foxy's castle build server and that's set to normal difficulty, but boy did I notice a difference. Seems shulkers take more hits and definitely seem to dish out more pain. Wither is the same, based on farming him on normal. I'm not sure my Wither killing on VIP server is going to be easy, as it was even with 4 beacons set up to health. I may have to start using a lot more consumables for these things. Has it impacted your playing much? Well, we did briefly just talk about it a minute ago. I've got to admit I have put 0 time into the new update yet, so as yet to discover the pain of 1.19 or 1.18.31. What you guys have just been mentioning it. How bad is it?
From my experience so far, it's definitely added in a new damage factor to the game, a newer fear factor. Mobs hurt now. Mobs hurt just a little bit more now. Suddenly Bedrock stepped up just a little bit. So we'll have to see with more time. As a matter of fact, no, I'm really just getting back on the ball. So yeah, it could be I just forgot how to play the game over the last few weeks too. Just saying.
You've done a lot of
Mobs
building,
hurt.
Jessiie. How are you coping?
It's so inconsistent for me. I'll be flying and I'll randomly hit a leaf and almost die. And then I will fall from a cliff and take 1 heart of damage. So I have no idea how they calculate things or whether now that they've, whatever they've done, feather falling is just amazing. So maybe because I've fallen, I take almost no damage, but flying, feather falling doesn't take effect. So I have no idea, but it has been super, super inconsistent. But mobs have hurt a lot more, I will say.
Yeah, I think mobs needed to hurt a lot more because there was no challenge there at all.
I agree.
And in terms of flying, I mean, I do a lot of crashing to stop, and because it doesn't do any damage, so the fact that I need to be more careful now, I think's a good thing. But I do see it, by the sounds of it, it's very random, and I don't think these advanced new damage calculations are all they're cracked up to be by the sounds of things. So fingers crossed they iron a few of those bugs out and actually bring it to a more reasonable level. But I am looking forward to having a harder difficulty, because if you're playing on hard, it should be hard, and at the moment it's not. So unless you're completely surrounded by creepers and you can't get away, then you're fine. So. Yeah,
that's cheating, by the way, Jessiie. I see you run that poll on Twitter. That's cheating.
I told you I was
she's
going
swearing
to.
on Twitter.
Yeah, she's swearing on Twitter. Yeah.
Jeez. Oh my goodness me.
Wow.
Oh, I can't believe it. Jessiie B does not represent the feelings and ideals of the Minecraft update, nor truly Bedrock. What her opinions are her own, and I just want to say now that neither of us are, remotely intertwined with anything that Jessiie B does is what Jessiie B does. Okay, jeez.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Okay, what's Aiden got to say, Jessiie? What's he got to say?
Oh my goodness,
wow,
Foxy.
did you say that? Really?
Oh my god, you too.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I can't believe it.
Okay, see, with an R, that to me would have gotten me smacked. But the anyway,
moving on.
Aiden says, hello, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. Aiden again. Thanks for taking my question last week. Anyways, here's my question. What do you think is the best Y level to mine iron, gold, diamonds, emeralds, and ancient debris? Not to complain, but I can't find any on my new server. Love the podcast. Hope you will keep going on. I think people have done like many charts, right? At this point, like there are charts everywhere that say, what Y level is the best.
Yeah.
And I know that people even still with those charts don't agree a lot of the time. But for me, I do diamonds at -55. I do iron in mountains, like up high. I just go to mountains at this point and just mine, or I go find iron ore veins. And ancient debris, I go to 13.
Yeah. So emeralds, it's absolutely pointless just going out to try and mine for emeralds. I mean, you can go to a mountain and find a few, but you're always just going to get a handful. You're never going to get many. Diamonds, definitely -55. Iron, yeah, there's loads of it up in the mountaintops. If you find what's it called, the Stony Peak mountain range, you'll get loads of iron just on the surface. You don't even need to go caving. Gold, I don't really know about gold. I just normally find that at the bottom of the world. There's plenty of it normally around where you get diamonds, so go probably same level as diamonds. And ancient debris, just bottom of the nether. You just go scooting along the bottom of the nether in a straight line. Go near a chunk border, you'll get loads of ancient debris after a while. I say loads, you'll get a bit after a while. But there's normally plenty of it.
You go on the chunk border and just TNT blast some, you'll get more ancient debris than you need.
I see. I went in my testing, just strip mining was just, it doesn't matter whether you strip mine, bed blast, or use TNT, the amount of time it takes you to get the ancient debris doesn't change. So you get the same amount, whichever method you choose. So I would avoid TNT and bed blasting just because of the lava pouring all over you.
I would avoid mining. I literally, on TB and both of my other series that I'm playing right now, haven't done no mining since 1.18 come out. Like, wow.
Jeez.
No iron, no gold, no diamonds, no emeralds. I just got it all from farms.
Jeez. Jessiie, on the other hand, has found many iron ore veins and got the entire world supply of them.
I do. It's a problem.
All right. I now have the longest book that we have ever had. Okay? Are you ready for this? This is from Bigelow.
Oh my goodness.
And it says, hello, Foxy, Jessiie, and Slack. I'm going to read it slowly just to really emphasize how long it is. I'm not really, because it can take me a week. I enjoy all your videos, the podcast, and your different takes on what changes are coming into the game. It is one thing to read the changelogs, but being able to hear not only what some of the changes are, but also have someone to help explain what it means to play the game as well. Jessiie, I can understand how it can be trying to play with young kids around. I have a daughter who is a year old, and just as soon as I start to get into my game and getting going, she is starting to get into something she shouldn't. Her favourite thing to do, I get one of my dog's toys and start trying to put it in her Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Huh?
There's not a lot of punctuation in this, so if I read this wrong, she's not saying she tries to put it in her daughter's mouth. The daughter's trying to put the dog toy in her mouth, or trying to get the dog's food. At least CDs/DVDs aren't that bad compared to dog toys, and that's a reference to Jessiie B in an earlier podcast talking about how Evie had got hold of a DVD and was trying to eat it. To bring an old topic back about the different tutorials, if you see the same farm or project done by multiple people, some people can explain things better and be more clear on the directions you should follow and to have everything work correctly. For example, I was playing with my sister-in-law on our realm and she wanted an iron farm and tried 2 farms that didn't work, and then we followed a farm by Silent Whisper and we were able to get it to work. When you brought up wanting a block that you could make money on, Zloy tried to have a different kind of currency on multiple seasons of TB. There's a lot of information here. There's a lot of information here, Big Low. Right, my questions. We're getting there. We're nearly at the end. Were there any bugs aside from the furnace bug that you would like to have back in the game? For example, having a cauldron under dripstone and 1 potion in the cauldron that you could let fill up and could get lots of potions by making 1 batch. Should we do 1 question at a time? I'll read the next one after we've talked about that. Is there any bugs you'd like back?
Not that I can think of offhand.
No, I'm pretty happy when bugs get patched. There's not one I can really think of besides cheaty furnaces.
I'm honestly glad cheaty furnaces went.
I know you are.
Look, I'm still not a fan of trident killers.
It's been such a long time since we've had any decent
block lag. We can turn that back on and, move the server. I can host the server for a while if you like to experience block lag.
Yeah, I mean, and not being able to fly in lava. I miss that. No, I don't want any of the bugs back, thank you. Not that I can think of. There will be one that I'm got. Oh, yeah, that one, but can't think of any right now.
No.
Okay. The next question is there anyone that used to be on TB that you enjoyed playing with, but they aren't part of TB anymore and would like to have them back as a member? Bruno, I'd like Bruno back. Dan Robs, I really liked playing with Dan Robs. Yeah, a bunch of the old members would be great to have them all back.
I saved them.
Daphne.
Daphne, yeah.
I miss her face. She just commented on one of my videos the other day, and I was like wanting to cry. I was like, I miss you. I love her. I love her.
Hold on. All my USB devices just disconnected and I quit recording.
Oh, that's going to make it last one.
Well, while that's happening, I just have to say I'm so proud of Evie. She got down all by herself.
Oh,
Ethan didn't even help her. She just got down.
Just flop straight onto that pillow at the bottom.
No, she used the ladder and everything. My baby's growing
amazing. Up. Little monkeys.
She's gonna be 2.
No,
literally in 2 weeks from I think today, she's gonna be 2. That means I have been on TB long enough to
that's
be
not
pregnant.
Right. That's not right. That's impossible because Nellie's nearly 2.
I'm pretty sure. My daughter's.
No, she's going to be 3.
Nope, not a thing. 2.
Okay, I started recording the second part of mine. Sorry about that. I had to export that.
Hang on. No, yeah, okay, Slack. Thank you.
I promise.
No.
She was born. May 18th, 2020, and it is 2022.
So we only got Nellie like 8 weeks after you had Evie?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No, Evie's been around forever. No. Sorry, you're wrong. Clearly don't know your own daughter's birthday.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that wasn't at the beginning of, the truly Bedrock season or nothing. That we had to record early before or nothing.
Nice.
Yeah,
wow. My goodness. Oh, that's amazing. Fantastic. Right. Anyway, back to these questions then, I guess. Right. Is there anyone in this season? That was a nice save. I'm not having to mention everyone else, by the way, Slack. I appreciate you losing your audio
nice
there.
Save.
Is there anyone in this season that you would like to do a collab in a project or video with that you haven't done anything with yet, aside from the fair Pigglesworth put together?
I haven't done anything with Dadcraft yet this season. I'm down. For a
Every
Dadcraft
collab I've done this season has tanked.
Yeah, mine too.
Like my solo episodes are doing great. Every time I record with somebody, it's just like straight to the bottom of the barrel. 10 out of 10. Good job there, Slack, is what YouTube says. Maybe you should consider making other videos.
I like the banter that me and Zloy have together when we shout at each other like from time to time, so that's quite good fun. There's always people that I'm up for doing collabs with, but it never seems to be a particularly good time to do it because I'm so sporadic with when I go on. I go on because I've got something to do, and I'm not thinking, oh yeah, it'd be good to tie in someone else to do this. So I'm just not I'm not a very good team player, all right, jeez. So yeah, there are quite a few of the Truly Bedrock members I would like to do collaborations with, but I'm too darn awkward to actually arrange it. Okay, jeez, stop calling me out. Moving on.
Firelight 360 says, "Dear Jessiie B, Slack, and Foxy, really good job on your recent podcast. I had an idea for a future update that Minecraft could add and was wondering what you thought about them. How would you guys like a huge redstone update with pipes, mechanics that could create something like a jetpack or a teleporter back to your base? Also, I had an idea that because there are some small redstone contraptions underneath the portal in the ancient city, maybe the portal leads to a redstone city or a world based on it. What do you think? Anyway, great podcast, guys, and I hope this is not a book. Thanks, Firelight."
I think, sorry, Jessiie, you go ahead.
Well, I mean, might be better for me to go ahead because I'm not the redstone person, right? Cool. I like the idea of a teleporter just because I really like the mod on Java. I can't think of what it's called right now, but the rune thing where you can just go back and forth places. Like, I like that. Other than that, I'm not too fussed about redstone stuff.
Oh, that just sounds like modded. I know you're excited. The words pipes were used.
Right, okay. I do not think the ancient city portal is going to lead to a redstone city. I think the fact that the redstone under there is just completely inconsequential and is the most bizarre thing they've ever done, and it should be removed instantly. Though my dislike for the redstone underneath the stupid portal thing aside, I'd love all of those things in the game, but they won't be Minecrafty enough. I was thinking about pipes the other day, how to make that more vanilla-y, and I just don't think there is an easy way. I think I would settle for just hoppers that pointed upwards. That would be nice. But yeah, I think I love pipes. I love doing modded with pipes and stuff like that, but it realistically, it's not vanilla-y enough. I like the fact that you can take some time out from vanilla and just hop into a mod pack for a week and just play with that and get that out of your system. Jetpacks, I was thinking about this as well, actually. Wouldn't it be nice if there was something you could use with your Elytra so that you could hover in place for a little while to help you build in higher up without having to rely on stupid scaffolding, which is no good for nothing other than furnace fuel. Jeez. Get that out of my system. And a teleporter, funnily enough, I mentioned this at the beginning of every single TP system. Can we implement a fast travel teleporter system? Because I'm sick of having to walk all the way through the nether to go to the shopping areas and back again. But that's just me being lazy, and again, would probably take away from the core of Minecraft. I have played with effective kind of teleporters a bit. We at one point in the game, you could get the end portal blocks, and you could just put them anywhere. So we had them in our bases, so we could just pop into the end, jump through the thingy, and end up wherever you needed to be. It was great. So, but yeah, realistically, I love all of those things, but they do need to stay in modded. Hello?
Hello.
No.
Oh. I thought I was on my own for a minute. You both hung up. Jeez. Yeah, so no thoughts on my ranty stuff about scaffolding there, Jessiie? No thoughts on my jetpacks, Slack?
I mean, at this point, everyone rants about scaffolding, and I've just had to accept that while I love it, it's not for everybody. And teleporters, I think that would be great. I'm also lazy and would love to just zoop wherever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a /home command. I think that'd be cool. So no matter where you are in the world, you can just get back home.
Yeah, you have a home base, like base pad or something, and then you've just got like in Terraria, you had a magic mirror, didn't they? You just magic mirror, you go back home again. So that'd be fantastic. I'd love that.
Yeah, I'd like if okay, so say we started the next season of TV and we agreed, which is not going to happen, to do that. And we had like 5. So you could have one for like desert, one for like the end, one for like the main nether hub, and like one for shopping in your own personal homes, you know?
Yeah.
That could be cool. So I can immediately just type /Foxy and go straight to Foxy's welcome area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that could be cool. As far as levitation goes, I made a pack with command blocks. Well, it never was public. It was something I did on the world a long time ago, where if you held a specific item with an enchantment, it literally depleted your XP and gave you levitation until you ran out of XP.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's cool.
possible.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
A magic mirror would be really easy to do with add-ons as well. If you hold or use an item, it just TPs you back like to. It's just where it would TP you back to is the problem, because it'd have to be loaded, I guess. And it wouldn't if you had the coordinates in there, but it would be much easier to TP you back to an entity or something like an armor stand. That was your home point. But yeah.
I
Man.
used to have I made a pack one time where you threw down a named item. So you like threw down home. Okay. So you threw down any item that was named home. And what it did was it quickly changed the game rules to keep inventory on, killed you, and put you back at your spawn point. Boop, boop, real quick. And you never lost your items.
Interesting.
So it just cycled through the game rules real quick. Well,
Yeah. That would do it for
Doable.
everybody, though. It's a shame you can't do that individually, isn't it? Because there'd be that one chance that someone else just happened to die at the same time and kept all their stuff. Cheaters.
Yeah. But I mean,
Oh,
it's pretty quick on how fast it can happen, because you change the game rule one command tick, you kill the person the next command tick, and then you change the rule back the next. I mean, it can happen where 2 people die at the same time.
You've got the game rule where you don't have to click respawn as well, haven't you? So you can just literally push them straight back.
Force them.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't even know they've died. Oh, that's a nice way of doing it. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but that works. So yeah, great.
Yeah, because you lose your experience. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good thing to think of. Yeah, but then that's the cost of using your magic mirror, you know.
Exactly. It's the cost of teleporting home. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like it.
Nice. Moving on. We've got Hip Up, who says, Dear Foxy, Jessie, and hopefully Slack, what do you think about an F3 screen? Would it be the F3 button for Windows, just whatever for controller, and you could just go into settings on mobile like third persons? And what if there was an enchantment that when you crouch, shulker bullets don't give you levitation? As always, enjoy the podcast. Keep up the amazing work. Always enjoy the show. Sincerely, Hip Up. So we've got a couple of things to talk about there. One is F3 screen, and the other one is an enchantment to prevent levitation. Slack, what do you think?
F3 screen, I could care either which way at this point. I've learned how to do pretty much everything without the F3 screen. We've pretty much came up with add-ons and or mods that we can use to get all the info that we need. So I could be bothered either which way. The fact that we know they exist and we don't have them is just, it is what it is. They'll probably never give them to us. And what was it? An enchantment when you crouch? Well, wouldn't that be Swift Sneak, but just adding the effect that levitation couldn't be applied to you then?
Well, I guess so. It's just it's like a levitation shield, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think, Jessie?
I am one of those people who likes the idea of getting the F3 screen. I want it. I think it's useful, so I would be happy with it. As far as an enchantment that keeps you from levitating, I'm not a huge fan of that idea. I think that the shulkers being able to levitate you, I think that that's one of the only interesting parts about going to the end. Like right now it's boring and it's not very hard, and you go there and you get all of these end game things. And if they can't levitate you, it just seems cheaty. It's just like, oh, free shulkers, whatever. And I know we have the shulker farms now and everything. It just, I don't like the idea of taking everything about a game and making it super easy. I think that just makes it boring.
I love how you said that. In-game content. Foxy, it's day one. You want to go end rating?
Yeah. Does levitation work? Can you block it with a shield?
No.
See, I don't mind levitation, but I do mind the fact that it hurts when you get hit by a shulker bullet and you get stuck in a position where you can't get away from that because of levitation. And I don't like the fact that the shulker bullets are just almost impossible to hit. The hitboxes are too small. So yeah, I don't think we should necessarily be given an enchantment to block levitation, but I do think it would be fair to actually make it easier to deal with those shulker balls so you can break them, you know, so that they're more likely to hit you when you're not expecting it, or you know, when it comes around the corner. but there's just no way to defend against them. And I genuinely find some of the most frustrating times I have in Minecraft is when you're so far away in the end, and you're so thankful that you've got coordinates on, because if you die, you're never going to get back there. You're never going to find your stuff. So I think I disagree with you a bit there, Jesse.
Usually it's Foxy. Oh God, I'm falling. I'm way up in the sky. Oh God. Slack.
I was really happy when
stuff.
And when the bug came in that allowed you to like suddenly go into fly mode and fly down when you've got levitation, that was just amazing.
I love that. Yeah.
In terms of an F3 screen, for me, the main things that interested me about F3 screens when I used to play on Java Edition was coordinates. And the screen was just so full of other stuff. It was so hard to actually see which one was the coordinates. It just made looking at what you were doing harder. So I think for me personally, and I know I'm not the same as everyone else, having the coordinates on screen's enough. I don't need to know what biome I'm in. I don't need to know what light level it is. I don't need to know what time of day it is or all the other things. It would be nice to know if I was in a village, but again, all of these things can be done with add-ons and resource packs, so we really don't need them. I think this is another case of someone else has got it, so I want it. If you didn't know about it, if it didn't exist on Java Edition, it wouldn't make any difference to your game. The F3 screen's not going to really improve a great deal of things for anyone, realistically. I don't think. So, yeah, no, I'm not fussed about the F3 screen.
No. Mm-mm.
Right, Jesse.
I think it's funny, Jesse, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but Jesse's probably the least technical here, I would say. And she's like, I want it, and both Foxy and I do a lot of technical stuff, and we're just like, yeah, I could care less.
I don't want it for technical reasons. I like it for, well, okay, some of it I like for technical reasons. I really like knowing what biome I'm in for mining. I mine all the time. It's really nice when I'm underground knowing where I'm at. So that I'm a fan of. When I'm doing things like mushroom biome stuff, it's really nice to know when I'm no longer in the mushroom biome. And it's just like a quality of life thing, right? It's not a necessity. It's just something that I really like when I'm doing things that have a purpose. Like I like mining in the mesa and knowing when I'm still in a mesa. I like being on a mushroom island and knowing when I'm no longer in that specific area. So that's the only reason for the biome part. But I also really like the light level thing. I'm a big fan of knowing my light levels because I like things to be moody, but still like I like light. So I don't know. It's useful for me.
The light level thing, unless obviously you're playing in the Nether now, is pretty inconsequential because you can pretty much tell 99% of the time if it's too dark now because it's light level 0. Any kind of moody lighting is going to be good enough. And as for the biome thing, one thing they could either do as part of vanilla Minecraft, or you could again do with the resource pack, is you could change the color of the fog depending on what the biome you're in. So you could be in a mushroom biome and have it as a slightly sort of muddy brown or off-white, fog in the distance. Your void fog could be a different color, and you could do all of that with the resource pack, and that would be a lot more vanilla than having a screen full of writing in your way while you're trying to do something. So I think it's just a change. I think it's a change in your way of thinking about doing it rather than just going, oh well, that exists, so we'll have that. I think there's better ways to do it.
Yep, I agree.
It doesn't mean you're wrong,
Fair
Jesse.
enough.
Jesse's like, see if I talk to y'all next week.
Right?
No, I don't mean. I wasn't meaning that in a bad way to Jesse. I think she's perfectly valid for it. I mean, loads of people want the F3 screen for exactly that reason. But for me, I'd rather have those things as part of the game without just a screen full of writing in front of me. That's just
that's fair.
Yeah. So I don't got any issue with Jenny. Oh, jeez. Again, Jesse wanted an F3 screen. I think that's perfectly valid to want one.
I'm gonna go ahead and read the next one. Okay.
Good. Yeah. Moving on.
Medi says, "Hi Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. Love the podcast since day one. Question 1: do you think the stalker can be implemented in the possible new dimension? Stalker? Do you think
The Stalker. Yeah, that was the first. They did send a picture in the email. I'll see if I can pull it up for you and put it in the Discord. But it was the first iteration of the, or one of the first iterations of the Warden that they showcased back all those times ago.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. So this says King B Dogs on Twitter. Some ideas we had for early iterations of the Warden. The Stalker were going to have a glowing item in the middle of its chest that you would also randomly. Was that cut off?
It must be, yeah. Doesn't look like we got the rest of that quote there.
Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. I mean, since we don't know if there's going to be a new dimension, sure, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, possible, but I think the Stalker was turned into the Warden, and you'll never hear nothing of the Stalker again. It's kind of like the Super Blaze and all the other things that we voted on that splits the community.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense for them to go, here's all the ideas we did have, but now we've gone to this one and then shove it in the end. Or shove it in whatever dimension we go to. And I still convinced that we're not going to a new dimension. Well, I don't know. I think we're going to just go to the end through that portal, or I don't know. Maybe it's not a dimension. Maybe it's a teleporter thing to something else. I don't know. I don't think we should get too
maybe it's nothing like the
maybe.
Bastion.
Maybe I don't think we should get too excited about what things might live in there. Having said that, though, going back to the music disc thing and what the music discs sound like, the new one does kind of sound like something comes through it or something. I don't know. It's kind of a bit weird, but again, that's just when you're wanting to hear something and you hear it.
Yeah, you're making something fit what you already have in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just wishful thinking, I think, a lot of it. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then with question 2, they said, what do you think about the summer bundle Minecraft news? So clicked on the little thing and it says, buy Minecraft PC bundle, get both games. So what? Both games as in
So basically,
Java.
This is, if you buy Minecraft Java, you get Bedrock for free. If you buy Bedrock, you get Java for free. I don't understand why they're calling this a summer bundle, because they was doing this anyway. But it says, coming summer 2002, Northern Hemisphere summer, new purchases of Minecraft Java Edition and Minecraft for Windows, the PC version of Bedrock Edition, will be offered as a bundle for one price. At this release, existing owners of either game will be granted an entitlement to both games on one Microsoft account. So they're basically just saying, if you've got one, you've got the other one, and if you're buying it new, you can buy them together. So I don't get why this is a bundle when they made out that this is just going to be the way going forward, unless they're going to take it away again. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. It doesn't make any difference because I've bought the game that many times. I've got it on infinite number of devices now. I don't need it anymore. It don't make any difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
the account mitigation over thing, I had to buy like Java like 4 times. I don't even want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My accounts are not the same. Mm-hmm.
There's one situation like when Oliver's big enough to be playing on a computer and he decides he wants to play Java Edition. At least I'm not going to have to pay for it for him again, potentially. But then if I only get to buy it this summer, then maybe I will. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really think too much about it. Jessiie?
I'm indifferent towards it. I don't think it's. I don't want to say it's not that big of a deal, but it's what it is. And I think it's weird. Again, like you said, I thought they announced that a while ago that when you bought one, you had the other. So this doesn't feel new to me. So yeah,
no.
It's interesting.
Doesn't feel new. No, go ahead.
Go on, Slack.
What I was going to say is it doesn't feel like it's something new. It feels like this has been the case for about 2 years now. It's just the only thing I like about this as an advantage is somebody buys a game, okay? They buy Minecraft, and they learn, oh, my favorite YouTuber is not playing the version of the game I thought they were playing. That I can switch over to the version they're playing in. That's the only thing I see different.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I think the reason we feel so flat against this news is because, like Slack's just said, it's been around a while. It had been around and then it got taken away again, which annoyed a lot of people because back when they first started migrating Mojang accounts ages ago, they were like, oh, well, if you do it, you get that copy of the game for free anyway, so don't worry about it. And then they stopped that, and that really angered a lot of people because they were migrating the Minecraft accounts and then not getting it for free. And then you know, now they're saying, hey, you can have it back again. And now it seems it's like a summer bundle. The whole thing's just really confusing. And I think this doesn't, as much as it's nice that you can get 2 versions of Minecraft for the price of one, that's great. But I just feel like you're going to get a lot of mobile players just complaining, well, why don't we get it for free? You can't play Java Edition on your mobile. But, you know, it's just, I don't know.
All this feels like is a ploy just to sell more copies of the game. Maybe it's just something we're just used to at this point. You got to think new people are getting into the game and they're like, oh, I can get both versions of the game this summer, you know, because they're coming into the era where they're starting the game or they're getting into it. And for all of us that have been around for years, we're just like, yeah, but this is just repackaged same stuff we've seen for 3 years now.
Which version are they trying to push here? Because is this trying to get more people to buy Java Edition, or is this trying to get more people to buy Bedrock Edition? Which numbers are they trying to bolster here? Are they trying to get another push to go, hey, you know, not many people playing Java, so more people getting Bedrock Edition?
I don't think so.
Or what if this is a thing to see? What if this is a thing to see? Which one are people buying? We'll offer them both versions of the game. Which are the one they check out with?
Well, they're going to check out with both because they get both. This is what I'm thinking. So at the moment, let's say people that have Windows PC buy Java Edition because that's the classic version that everybody talks about. Yeah, and so the sales on PC, let's forget consoles and mobile. Sales on PC, let's say Java Edition is higher than Mojang want it to be. I'm not necessarily saying it's higher than the Bedrock sales, but this to me just feels like a ploy that they're going, well, if we bundle these together, we can say that every single Java Edition sale is also a Bedrock Edition sale. So all of a sudden, the Java Edition sales are looking less
skyrocketing, or yeah.
No, the other way. Like the Bedrock Edition, there's more Bedrock Edition sales, so the player base is moving towards Bedrock. So we've got another opportunity here to tell people we're going to cancel Java Edition. Yeah. You know,
I think what it is that Mojang Minecraft Windows Edition, I guess is that what it is? The one Windows 10. I think that's the one that doesn't sell very much. If you're buying Minecraft on a PC, you're buying Java for the most part. I think they've showed numbers and stuff. So I think this is a way that they're getting people to have Bedrock Edition on the PC.
Yeah.
And to see if they can kind of turn audiences. It might work, it might not, who knows? But I think that's the play, is letting people know, hey, by the way, Bedrock isn't only like console and phones. We also have a PC version.
And it's free if you buy Java Edition. It's free. And there's a marketplace. Come spend all your money in the marketplace. Exactly. And it's on the same launcher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you go into the two are being different versions too. Isn't it that you can't run Bedrock Edition unless you're on Windows 10? And I mean, I even remember distinctly here a while back, a couple hermits that weren't even on Windows 10.
I think, it's been Windows 10 and 11, isn't it? I don't think it works on older versions, but then they're pushing those like crazy as well. And then let's not, forget about the fact that for the last few updates, they've been, I say few updates, few betas, I guess, going back to maybe 1.18 onwards, they've been really pushing parity changes on Bedrock. So this just feels, if you put all of those things together, like they're going, right, we really need to try and get some of these Java Edition people over to Bedrock Edition now so that we can start phasing Java Edition out and actually focus on one version of the game and get everyone to the marketplace and spending loads of money. That's my cynical side. That's what I think is going on. But I might be wrong. Might just be they're being really generous. Why would they be generous? There's no point, does it? If the people aren't expecting it for free, why would they get it for free?
Well, that's a good question to ask the listeners out there. What do they think?
Yeah. If you have any thoughts on this, then make sure to write us an email at the new email address that I've forgotten and I don't have in front of me. news@theminecraftupdate.com. Let us know. Speaking of news, we're in the questions, so going to read the next question. I feel like that smooth segue there. Essifer says, Foxy, Slack, and Jessie. Thanks to the Expert Level 99 podcast, your ability to raise the bar on perfect week after week is truly awe-inspiring. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure this has been noted elsewhere, but what do you think echo shards are a shard of? It could just be the English language playing tricks on us, but if an amethyst shard is a shard of amethyst, then it seems to imply that an echo shard is a shard of an echo, right? What the heck is an echo in Minecraft? And then there's another question. So let's focus on that one for a second. Or should I read the rest? Because it does seem to be connected. I'll read the rest. Second, what if recovery was the new concept similar to respawn in that it involved player death? The recovery compass points to where the player died, but then you could have a recovery anchor similar to a respawn anchor and a new enchantment recover. Anything with the new enchantment would go to the in-dimension anchor upon death. The compass could even be linked a la a lodestone to the anchor, making it easy to find. Thanks again. Can't wait for many more podcasts. Essifer. Jeez, we got there in the end. So what's an echo in Minecraft, and should we have a recovery lodestone anchor thing? Slack.
Echo? No, I think you're reading too much into it, but you asked an opinion. That's my opinion. You're reading too much into it. And a recovery anchor, that isn't that playing with, pretty much keep inventory on? I'm very cynical sometimes, aren't I?
It's just graves, isn't it? But then your stuff gets put somewhere safe.
Graves, yeah. Okay, then play with the graves. I don't know. Somebody else, I feel like I'm going to bash it. I
quite like the idea of your stuff being put somewhere safe, but I don't trust the game to be able to do it without losing loads of it.
Case in point, they fixed entity despawning on chunk borders. Foxy, look at these sheep here. Can I fly away with them on the chunk border? No, don't do
it. So, yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think if you had a recovery anchor, it needs to be limited. It needs to only work once or something like that. Or I guess like with the loads, what's it called? No, the one that
Lodestone?
exists already that you have to charge it with glowstone.
The lodestone.
No, that's not the lodestone, is it? The lodestone is where the
isn't it?
A compass you can attach to a lodestone. Anchor? It will tell you where
the respawn anchor.
That's it. Yeah. So if a recovery anchor needs to be charged up with something, I guess the echoes, or the echo shards maybe. Or something rare, so you can't overuse it. So I personally kind of like that idea. I think it's great. I just don't trust it. I just don't trust my items to be there when I get there. So what do you think, Jess?
I also like the idea of a recovery anchor type thing. I think that's neat. I think it's a fun idea, but obviously implementation would be key. So I like the idea, but I don't know how that would work or the specifics about it. As far as a echo, oh my goodness, I don't know what an echo might be in Minecraft, but I don't think it's that deep, if that makes sense. I think they're just using it because obviously the warden now has echolocation, so I think it's just kind of tying it together. I don't think that it's has a specific meaning other than that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's another one of those. FoxyNoTail's really hoping there's another dimension. It's got something to do with that, but they're not telling us yet. But yeah, I think you're probably right with that. I mean, it's an echo of you died there, so it's like an echo to the past, showing you where to go back to. I guess. I don't know. I think we're probably over analyzing the word echo too much in that one. Maybe we'll see. We don't know. We're just guessing. I don't know. Right. Slack. Last question.
Last question. Oh, you're giving me something. Zeta.
Yeah.
Would you find dirt layers like snow layers, but with the dirt texture useful? And the second question, which is related, if you could get it via add-on, would you want it?
Yes.
Jessiie? Foxy's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? More detailing blocks? I think absolutely.
Sand layers, gravel layers, and dirt layers are essential in my book.
My little terraforming heart skips a beat. You're telling me I could make things prettier? Thank you. Yes, please. I'll throw my money at it.
for Infinity Dungeon, I even turned snow layers into dirt layers so that we could use them in the game because
It was beautiful.
yeah, it looks so much better. So yes, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't understand why they don't exist. And then when they gave us like the archaeology thing and they were breaking down the gravel and sand and I got so excited, and then they were like, no, that's not how it's going to work. The block's just going to disappear. I'm like, why? Why? Why?
So
I don't understand why. If snow layers exist and work so well, why can't we have those? Why not? I don't get it. I mean, I'd have no time left in the world ever because everything I'd just be spending my life layering things. But
Right.
I want those. I want
your
them so
entire
bad.
base would just be detailing.
I guess it's kind of a little bit like what's that mod on Java Edition? Pixel. What's it?
Sizzle and bits.
Yeah, that's it. What did you say then? Chisel and
Chisel and
bits.
bits.
Oh, sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you said something else. I think your microphone cut out for me. Yeah, chisel and bits.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but obviously a little bit less accurate. But yeah, please. Do you not think so, Slack?
I just no.
Slack doesn't want anything changed. I don't want new updates.
No,
don't want any.
no.
Just
no.
keep it how it is. Let me moan about it because I don't like it.
Yeah, quit changing stuff. Let me get used to it a little bit before you break it.
Wow, jeez. Okay, right, in that case, that is the end of today's questions. If you would like to ask a question, then send an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com. Put a question in your subject line so we know it's a question. Which brings us towards the end of today's podcast. All that's left to say is what we're going to be doing over the next week in terms of our streaming and videos and whatnot. Jessie, what are you going to be up to?
Well, this upcoming weekend, and assuming that the podcast comes out on time, we have TB Stream Weekend and and Mother's Day. So that's going to be fun. But other than that, I'll have a video out on Monday and I will be streaming whenever I can, basically, which is usually Mondays and Wednesdays.
Okay, fantastic. And you are the first person on the stream weekend
I
coming up on the
am.
7th of May at 2 p.m. BST. What does that say? 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's the world's smallest picture I'm looking at. Yeah. So, yeah, that'd be cool. Slack, what about you? You're only 4 hours after Jessie.
Yeah, so we got that coming up. Have a normal TV episode dropping this Friday and just trying to get back into the groove of things. I literally got no recording done and burned through all my stockpile footage when I was in the hospital with COVID, so it's a recovery game. Streams, as soon as my neck gets me feeling where I can set for multiple hours, streams are going to go back to their normal schedule as well. So yeah, it's getting there.
Good. Right. And for me, I'm going to be streaming on the Truly Bedrock Stream Weekend on Sunday at 8 p.m. BST, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I am hopefully also going to be doing a stream shortly after releasing this podcast on Elden Ring, which would be nice. I need to do a Truly Bedrock video because I haven't made one. I need to do a weekend video because I haven't made one, which I won't do either of because I've run out of time. But next week, everything should be pretty much as normal, hopefully, fingers crossed. And on that note, it's the end of today's podcast. Well done, guys. We did it. We made it. There were no hiccups, no recording issues. Nobody had loads of noise in the background because you both got your air conditioners on. And we didn't nearly lose Evie to a plummeting doom of death because of the damage calculation being all out of whack.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah. Nailed it. Amazing. Well done, guys. So, I guess we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Hi. Good job.
Goodness.
That's going to be an edit, that one. It's going to be an edit.